Good morning once again. We're on to the part 2 of this video, and it's me, MAMU with Jarvis, taking you through quadratic expressions algebra for grade 9. We've treated introduction to quadratic expressions, and if you're going to enjoy this video, we would advise that you watch our previous video so that you'll be able to flow well with the new ideas we're going to be working with. We treated introduction to quadratic expressions, and more importantly, we've treated what is called the direct, more like the direct product method, or more like the direct multiplication of binomials method. Now, in this video, we're going to focus on what is called the no-show method. The no-show method essentially talks about not showing your workings. Not showing your workings. Our mummies, our daddies, and our grandparents alike. There's a group called, I think it should be Kool The Gang, and they have a song they call No Show. No Show. Our mummies, our daddies, you remember this song very well that goes more like no show. So we're trying to use that as a reference to our work. It's not a method you will see in any textbook. It's coined by the MAMU experience to help drive mathematics better and make it more fun for us. So what essentially is a no-show method? We're going to use this method now by trying out a problem. Okay, so to drive this point home, we'll be back to our New General Mathematics on page 89 of our textbook, and exercise 9b is our focal points. We'll look at question number 1. Now, remember I started by talking about content and container. Content in this container, contents rather in this container, content in this container. Pay attention to their position or positions. Remember, the outcome of any binomial multiplication, especially when it gives you a quadratic expression, is to obtain 3 terms. So if I multiply this correctly, I'm going to have a term here with a sign, another term here with a sign, and finally a third term. So this is what I'm expecting at the end of the day. 3 terms connected by what? 2 signs. Remember that the signs can either be what? Addition or what? Subtraction. Next thing, pay attention to the position. This is position 1 of this one, so I'll call it first. This is position 1 of this content, of this container rather. So this container, this is first. In this container, this is first. In this container, this is last. And in this container, this is what? Last. So when we multiply first and first, they will come to this position. When we multiply last and last, they will come to this position. So first times first will land here, last times last will land here. So let's see how that works. A times A will give me what? Now, 1 times 2 will give me what? It's a positive, is that not? So with that, I can fit the sign. So the sign is dependent on this one. So I will have plus what? 2. Now, if you are a fan of the MCU, that like I am, there is this greeting they greet in Wakanda. It's more like a crossbow arrangement. Now, that's what is happening here. We're going to use that knowledge now. We're going to use Wakanda experience to address what we are going to get here. So can we all do our hands like this? All right, thank you very much. So we call it the interchange multiplication. What do I call it? Interchange multiplication. Beautiful. So by interchange multiplication, what that will mean is that I will use the first here to multiply the last here. What do I get? 2a. I'll write it down. I'll write it down here at my side. I'll use the last here to multiply the first here. What do I get there? There's only like what a. What you get is a. Alright, so they are both positive. When I add them, what do I get? 3. 3, and that will be 3a. So what is it positive or negative? Positive. So I'll bring it here plus 3a. So I've gotten the answer. Let's test whether what this man has said is correct. So a plus 1 into a plus 2, and that will give me what? A into a plus 2 plus 1 into a plus 2. That will give me a squared plus 2a plus a plus 2, and that will give me a squared plus 3a plus 2. You discover that it's the same answer. Some of you know how to sweat. You do like this. But with this no-show method, you can actually look at the question comfortably. Imagine you're wearing your suit and courageously, boldly say, this is the answer. And that will be the answer. At grade 9, we expect that you should be able to use the no-show method. So you should be able to use the no-show method to handle, to generate your quadratic. So we're going to practicalize the no-show method now and see how this enables us to get our answers. Okay, so you write the question because we're trying to develop this concept. You put your star dot, star dot, star dot, star dot, star dot, star. And the character that comes to my mind is, there's an artist called Starboy. What's that? Whiskey. Not Whiskey. Starboy. Star what? Starboy. Starboy, I know because I read something about it last night. So, Starboy. Starboy. So it is star dot star dot star. Do that first. Do that first. Once you've done that, the next thing you apply, this is first, this is last. So that's a squared. This is last. 2 times 2, 6. What sign will it carry? Plus. The next thing you do is you remember your Wakanda. And then you just, it's a cross product thing. So you keep your hands like this. So it helps you to remember what you need to do. You take first to last, 3a. You take last to first, 2a. And that's 5a. And you bring that in. And it is positive, so that will be plus 5a. And you see that with this method, in less than 1 minute, you are through with your answer. Alright, so let's go to another question. Okay, we're taking more questions from our New General Mathematics, exercise 9b. Now we're taking question 6. We're picking random questions so that we can drive the different ideas and possibilities you can have. Now, once you have the question, the no-show method says, I remember a character, a popular musician, I think that is a musician called Starboy. So I just go star dot star dot star. Once I've done that, I know this is first, I know this is last, so I multiply. B times B will give me B squared. Now, 3 times negative 4, it will give me negative. So that will be negative 12. So I'm left to do this. What do I do next? I just cross my hand. I remember Wakanda. I cross my hand. And then I take my first, multiply with my last. I rule this negative 4b. And then I take my last here, multiply with my first. That's what? Plus 3b. Now, I go back. Recall that this is negative and this is positive. I'm owing I have, so I don't have. I'm owing I have, so I don't have. So I just say 4 minus 3, and that will be what? 1. So 4b minus 3b will give me b. But because I don't have, it will be what? Negative b. So I come here and put negative b here. And you've gotten your answer. Straight. Without wasting time. Okay. So, very quickly, I remember Starboy. Next thing, first to first, last to last. So this will be what? C squared. Negative times negative with positive. So 1 times 2 is 2. Next thing I remember, Wakanda. And then I pick first times last. I rule here, negative 2c. This time this will give me negative c. I don't have. So I'm doing addition. 1 plus 2 will give me what? 3. So that will be minus 3c. And I'm done. So you see that if you know what you are doing, in less than 30 seconds, no matter how complex the problem is, you can get your answer. Now, you have n plus 1 all squared. How do you handle this? You can now say, because they said this is n plus 1 squared, it means that that has occurred what? Twice. So I'll come here. So the next thing, Starboy. Then n squared 1. Wakanda plus 2n. And that's the final answer. You do that to anybody, the person would think of you in weeks. Like, what's happening here? Now, another way we can do this very quickly. I've seen squared here, it means I'm multiplying this in twice. So it means that I will just pick this one. The first term, I will square it. The last term, I will square it. Then, I will just say n times 1 is what? N multiplied by 2. And that will be plus 2n. You use this method whenever you have a bracket like this. Let's try that for question 22. Let's go back to 22. In question 22, we had n minus 1 all squared. Using this upgraded bleeding edge armor of Iron Man, we're going to have that this will be what? Square the first term, square the last term. This times this will give me minus m multiplied by 2. That will be minus 2m. So you see that in seconds, answers will be popping out. And people will wonder whether it's the same mathematician they knew yesterday. Okay, this is where we'll call it a day with this segment of the video, the part 2 of this quadratic expression. We have used what is called the no-show method. And a quick reminder here that you just need to remember 2 important things. Starboy and what? Wakanda. That's all you need to remember to use this technique. Starboy, star dot star dot star. Multiply the first term, multiply the last terms, and then you just cross your hand. You remember the Wakanda, and then you feed in the, you do your addition at the side of your book, and then you add it up. It works, and it will always work. So we're going to call it off for this video now, and go to another aspect, which we're going to call coefficient of terms. Thank you.